Maybe I can arrange these so that they tell a story. The love story of Channing Capwell Jr. and Lindsay Smith. That'd be a tale to tug at my father's heartstrings, bring a tear to his eye, woo-hoo, or maybe a blush to his cheek. Nothing like it since Hero and Leander. Or maybe Echo and Narcissus. Oh, prying eyes. Top of the morning to you, Lockridge.
Looking pretty threatening out there.
Yeah, into each life a little rain must fall.
Well, I wish I had said that. What were those?
Oh, faded photographs sitting here amongst my souvenirs. Where's Maggie?
She should be along in a minute. Look, I wanted to talk to you about the meeting this morning. I thought we should go over what you're going to say.
Sure, but before we get into all that, there's a question I wanted to ask you. What would it take to transfer still photographs onto videotape?
Does this have something to do with the conference today?
No, nothing at all, but I've heard you're something of an electronics buff. Thought you could advise me.
Well, you probably need a video camera and a tape recorder to play it on, a recording device to play it on. You can pick up some portable ones.
That's all. How much would that cost?
Depends on the quality you want. $2,000 to $15,000, I'd imagine.
Can you rent them?
Yeah, you probably could.
I don't suppose you'd want to advance me some of my legal fee, just enough to tide me over with.
No, sorry. I think we'll wait to see how you handle yourself at the meeting date.
What? Are you auditioning me?
If you care to put it that way, yes.
No, I don't care to put it that way, thank you.
I think I'll go get a morning paper.
Yeah, you do that.
Hello?
Hello, Lindsay. It's Mason. I need a favor.
What's that?
Well, I'd like you to find a good video equipment rental store and pick up a camera and a videotape recorder and take it over to my apartment.
Why do you want it?
Oh, don't ask questions, Lindsay. Just handle it for me. I'm afraid you'll have to pay for it, too. Consider it in advance. I'm going to need an assistant on my staff during this Gillis versus Capwell case. I think you'd be a good one.
Well, thanks, but I've already got a practice of my own.
Lindsay, you're arguing again. Now, I'd like you to come to a meeting this morning. I'm going to be at Earl Stiller's office, 11 a.m. Maggie and Warren, my father, will be there. No short notice, but I'd like you to join us.
Mason, I'm due in court this morning in about an hour.
Oh, I guess you'll have to get a postponement or find someone to fill in for you. I don't care what it takes, Lindsay, but work it out. I really need a good legal hand in this.
Well, I can't just chuck everything and come running every time you want me to.
Oh, yes, you can, and you will. Otherwise, there won't be anything for you to chuck. I hate to put it that way, but there it is, Lindsay. Sorry to interfere with your morning, but I'm afraid I must.
How much of this do you think I'm going to stand still for?
Oh, lots and lots, I hope. I'll see you at 11, Lindsay. You know where Earl's office is, I assume?
Yes,
Good.
I know.
Good. On second thought, why don't you meet me at the State Street Bistro after you've done your video errand? Then we can go to the meeting together. I'm really looking forward to having you on my team, Lindsay.
Yeah, the trouble is I have a meeting this morning and I have to go to it, so I won't be able to help you until later in the day.
That's too bad, Gillis. I was hoping to kick my plan into gear. I really think we can force this guy out into the open.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I told you we'd set this up and you said it was all right.
Yeah, I know I did. I forgot. I take it you found a lawyer for your case?
Yeah.
Who'd you get?
You won't like this.
Why won't I?
It's Mason Capwell.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. He agreed to take it, and I'm glad he did.
Well, in case you've forgotten, you might take a look at the list right there.
I know what you're thinking, but I didn't have any choice.
You ever heard the phrase conflict of interest, Gillis? I mean, how are you going to investigate the guy as a suspect in the murder of his brother if he's also acting as your attorney?
Well, for one thing, I don't think Mason is the killer.
Oh, really? And who else don't you think is the killer?
Warren.
Warren, that's great. We can knock 2 names off the list right now, save ourselves a lot of time and trouble. Mason should be at the top of the list. Nobody hated Channing more than he did.
Well, I can't help that. He agreed to take the case, and he's the only one in Santa Bárbara who would. So I will just have to work around it, okay? Now I've got to go. I've got to meet Mason at the bistro, and I don't want to be late.
Wait a second, Gillis. I'll drive you down.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
That's okay. I got to talk to him myself.
Suits me.
Yeah.
Well, what's in that box?
Nothing's in the box. It's just an empty box. It used to hold an engagement ring.
You don't throw anything away.
No, I don't. I wanted to keep that around to remind me why it's empty and who emptied it. Any more questions?
Not a one. I'm sorry I asked.
Fine. Let's get out of here.
Gina, are you down here?
Yes, I am, sweetheart.
Oh, there you are. Morning, darling.
Morning. Oh,
What's wrong?
nothing. You just squeezed me a little too tight, that's all.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Oh, I'm all right.
You got up awfully early this morning. Why don't we go back to bed for a while? I haven't had a chance to say a proper good morning to you.
Oh, I would love to, sweetheart, but you have an 11 o'clock appointment this morning.
Well, that's not until an hour and a half from now.
Oh, yeah, I know, but your attorney's coming early to brief you, remember? That's probably him now.
Oh, just my luck. Hello, good morning, Earl.
Good morning, Cece. I have those papers you wanted to look at. Good morning, Mrs. Capwell.
Morning. I'll leave you two to talk.
I'm sorry about this, dear.
Oh, I understand.
I have some information that may interest you. Guess who Maggie Gillis has retained as her attorney?
I have no idea.
Your son, Mason.
What?
I didn't think that would make you too happy. I found out just this morning.
Of all the unmitigated, of all the... Now, wait a minute. That's not so bad. That might be a very good idea.
Well, no, but it could be a little bit awkward.
No, it might just work for us. I don't think Mason will be able to handle the pressure. This could be a plus for us. I've got another idea. Instead of having that meeting at your office, let's change it.
To where?
Let's have it here in the house.
Well, that's a bit unusual.
That's just the point. I don't think Mason expects that.
All right, Cece, I'll try to change it.
No, Earl. Don't try. Do it.
Well, Cruz, I'm glad you could make it. Hello, Maggie. You know, would you mind if I spoke to Cruz for a minute alone?
Oh, don't coincidences abound. You don't mind, do you, Gillis? Excuse us.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Thanks. Sit down. You nervous?
Yeah, a little.
Well, don't be. Everything's gonna be okay.
Well, at least with Mason, we've managed to make a meeting with Capwell's attorneys. It's a lot more than I've ever been able to accomplish.
Well, I think something good is going to come out of this anyway. You really look nice.
Thank you.
I hope I can join you at the meeting today.
Well, I'm counting on it.
Good.
So, tell me something, good buddy. What do you think Maggie's chances are in this case?
Well, if she didn't have a case, I wouldn't have agreed to handle it. And we'll know more after the meeting this morning.
Well, you know, I have a lot of respect for her, Mason, and I'd like to see her get a fair shake. So, please don't be taking this thing on just to make a buck, all right? I mean, if she's got no chance, tell her up front.
Cruz, you know me better than that.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what he's doing.
He's here at my invitation.
Oh, yeah? Are you two getting chummy now?
No, we're working on a case together. Incidentally, Cruz, I know that Peter's confession didn't satisfy you, but do you really think Lindsay might have killed Channing? A spurned lover kind of thing?
Now, how in the hell did you find out about that?
I had ways.
I don't believe this. Did you know about the two of them when it was going on?
No, not then, but I do now. I see all and know all.
I don't know. What's the use of trying to conduct an undercover investigation in this town? You might as well just take out an ad in the papers.
It's pretty hard to hide what you're doing from the people it most affects, Cruz. Why don't you just share with me what you know, and then maybe I can help you?
Mason, you're a civilian now. Try to remember that.
Hello?
I have to speak to Amy right away. Is she there?
Who's calling?
This is Jeff Barber. I'm calling from San Francisco. Please tell her to hurry. This is urgent.
She's not here. You want to leave a message?
I'm telling you, this is an emergency.
Well, I'm sorry, pal. You're going to have to tell me what it's about.
Look, damn it, I've got to speak to Amy.
Listen, Jeff, I think you've caused enough trouble, okay? Why don't you just leave her alone?
Forget about it?
Oh, it's you again, is it?
Yeah, it's me. And I really prefer that you just stop bothering us both.
Okay? And if you want to talk to her, if she wants to talk to you, she'll call you.
Look, why don't you let her tell me that herself, huh?
Because I'm telling you. Now get lost.
Wait, no, don't hang up. Please. I've got something really important to tell her.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I know who the father of Amy's baby is. I'm telling you, I know who the father of Amy's baby is. Now, that's why I've got to talk to her and...
Wait a minute. Oh, God. What, were you telling me what I said?
Yeah, sure, what?
I don't have much time to talk. I just wanted to know the father...
Jeff! Jeff! What's going on? Jeff! Operator, give me San Francisco Police. Yes, it's an emergency. Please, hurry. Yeah, hello. Listen, I'm calling from Santa Bárbara. I was just talking to a person up there. It seems like in the middle of our conversation, something happened to him. Well, can you get a car over there to check it out? Yeah, 395 Bayside in Marin. Jeff Barber. No, he called me. Wallace, Brick Wallace. Yeah. I live in Santa Bárbara. Look, what difference does it make? Something's happened to the guy. Can you just get a car over there and check it out? Yes. Thank you. What does he mean? He knows who the father of the baby is.
Well, everyone, that was Earl Stiller. The meeting's been moved to my father's house.
Why?
Well, Dad wanted it moved. He's just flexing his muscles, don't worry.
Yeah, well, why would he want it to be changed?
Oh, he probably heard that I was handling the case and thinks it'll throw me off. He's in for a big surprise. Lindsay, can't wait for you to meet my father.
Look, Mason, I'd like to speak to you in private a moment.
Well, certainly. Would the two of you excuse us?
Well, we'll certainly try.
What do you think you're doing?
I was just passing along old Earl Stiller's message, Lindsay.
I want to know what's going on. Look, I can't live like this, Mason. Between you and Castillo, I don't know what's going to happen from one minute to the next.
I'm sorry, Lindsay, but I can't talk about my plans right now because I haven't formulated them yet. You'll just have to wait and see.
Thanks, that's terrific.
I'm sorry, but that's the way things are. Did you get the video equipment?
Yeah, it's in the car.
Okay, thank you, but that's not going to do me a whole lot of good there. Could you take it, drop it by my apartment?
Well, I'll need a key.
No, I'll just leave it with the manager. Then meet me at my father's house at 11. You do know where it is, don't you?
Yes, I know.
I thought you would. I have to get back to the kids. Well, gang, I think we'd better get started.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, you still haven't told us how you plan to proceed.
Well,
I'm not exactly sure. We'll just see what develops when we get the meeting underway. Shall we?
Certainly.
I'm getting more nervous by the minute.
Take good care of my partner, Warren.
I do. Later, Chris.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute about Eden. May I?
Oh, yeah, please, sit down. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you, if I might, about Marcello. Would you like some coffee or something?
No, thank you. What do you want to know about Marcello?
Well, whatever you know about his life during World War II.
Well, Cruz, I really don't know very much. I know that his parents were killed, so he was orphaned.
How were they killed?
I don't know. Marcello never wanted to talk about it. He doesn't talk to me about it. But the Armantes adopted him and then took him to Italy. I have found it a little disconcerting that Marcello hasn't told me very much. For instance, I just found out that it in fact was Marcello that rescued me that day on the beach 16 years ago, right here in Santa Barbara after the boating accident.
Really? That's a surprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a surprise to me, too.
Do you know also that his hometown was very close to the place where Cece's plane was shot down during the war?
No.
It was.
It's very odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. Have you ever heard him express any particular animosity toward Mr. C because of the war or anything else?
May I ask why the questions?
To tell you the truth, Sophia, I'm not sure. There are just too many coincidences around the guy.
What do you mean?
Well, his finding you 16 years ago, and yesterday in Bermuda, Eden found Cece's dog tags in Marcello's possession.
Dog tags?
Yeah, those little chains
No,
that soldiers...
I know what dog tags are, but I can't imagine why Marcello would have Cece's dog tags. How in the world did he get possession of them?
I don't know, neither does she, but it has us worried.
Yeah. Cruz, sometimes I have seen a look in Marcello's eyes, a terrible look when he talks about Cece.
How do you mean?
I want you to know this. I love Marcello. He is my stepson, and he's been such a help to me.
Like he might hate Mr. C, is that the look?
And I've had incredible faith in him. It's just that lately...
Lately what?
Lately, I'm finding out so many things about him that I didn't know, and it's confusing and it's frightening, and I just don't know what to think.
I bet. Listen, would you mind coming over to my houseboat? I'm putting together a file on Marcello, and I'd like you to see what I've collected.
All right, when?
Could you come now?
All right. I'll follow you with my car.
That'd be great.
Cruz. I know you're very close to Eden, and maybe you can help me. You see, I want to win her love back. It's very important to me. The most difficult thing for me has been back in Santa Barbara and to have her dislike me so much.
She can be the most infuriating woman in the world.
She certainly has a mind of her own, doesn't she?
It's putting it mildly. She drives me up the wall sometimes, I'll tell you. But the bottom line is that you should be very proud of her, Sophia, because, well, she's a remarkable person. I don't want to talk about her now, okay? Let's go.
Cruz, are you there?
Amy, yeah, finally. Yeah, I've been trying. Yeah, I know you've been busy. Listen, honey, I've got to make a trip up to San Francisco for the day. Yeah. No, just some business for the Lockridges. Uh-huh. Well, there's nothing to worry about. It's strictly a business trip. I just didn't want you to, freak out about where I went to. Yeah. No, honey, just for the day. That's it. I'll be back tonight. Probably be home before you are. You can spare me that long, can't you? Yeah. Okay. Listen, you take care. You okay? Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Dr. Renfro?
What else can you tell me about Brick Wallace?
Only that he's a close friend of Amy Perkins.
We may have a lot of trouble because of him.
Oh, I see no reason why Wallace would cause any trouble.
That's because you don't know what's happened.
That's right, I don't. Has something happened?
We have reason to believe that Jeff Barber called Brick Wallace this morning. We're also afraid that he may have told him too much.
What do you mean? What could he have told him?
I can't say any more now, but I'll be in touch.
Aren't you going to be home for lunch, Gina?
No, Rosa. I'll get something downtown.
May I speak to you for a minute?
Of course. What is it?
This is difficult for me to say. I only bring it up because I'm concerned for you.
Why would you be concerned about me?
I know you're keeping rather late hours. And earlier this morning, I saw your arm. The bruises.
Rosa, please don't tell anybody about this, please.
I won't. But it isn't going to be easy to keep hidden. I only wanted to know if there's anything I can do to help you.
No, there isn't. Thank you.
Cece doesn't know, does he?
No.
I was sure he didn't, or he would have mentioned it. I know that whatever's wrong is your business. But I would like to help if I can. I'm sure Reuben would feel the same way. Gina, if you're in some kind of trouble, maybe we could do something.
That is sweet of you, Rosa.
You're Cece's wife. I want you both to be happy.
It isn't just Cece or me you're concerned about, is it? You're worried about Brandon, aren't you?
I get frightened for him sometimes.
Don't be, Rosa. I promise you. I'll never let anything bad happen to that little boy. I promise. But I do understand your concern. I know about Channing and Santana. And I know you're Brandon's grandmother.
You know? Did Cece tell you?
No. But I was told. Rosa, I'm sorry. I have to go. I'm in a hurry. I'll be late.
Well, look who's here.
Hi.
What's this?
This is me, dropping off some clothes so I don't have to run home every time I want to change.
Oh, how nice. You take a lot for granted, don't you, kid? I got the stuff on Marcello, if you're still interested.
Well, why don't you do with the files the same with what you told me to do with Marcello's dog tags? Flush it.
You lead a charmed life. I was just about ready to take you
What?
to the...
What?
I'll tell you when your mother leaves, all right?
What?
I'll
No.
tell you when your mother leaves. You don't mind, do you? Hi.
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 Hello.
I feel like I've walked in the middle of an argument.
Yeah, would you, to excuse me, please?
Seems like he's angry with you.
Yeah. Because I told Gina whose son Brandon really is.
Oh, I see. Well, honey, she would have found out eventually. It's probably better that she knows now. How did she react?
She was shocked, but she'll get over it.
Honey, your father should have told her before he married her. As a matter of fact, he should have told you all about it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Now, I'm not suggesting that your father won't be very angry. That will be his first reaction, but it won't last long. Cruz, I don't have a lot of time. If I could look at those files, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, sure, Sophia. I got them right here. There you go.
Thank you.
I'd let you look at them, too, Eden, but I know you're probably not interested.
I'll look at them later if you don't mind.
I just can't believe that I've never heard of any of these things. This is all a revelation to me. I don't know why he never told me. I'm going to have to ask him about it. Oh, well, thank you, Cruz, for showing them to me.
Oh, sure, no problem.
And now I'll leave you two alone.
Oh, no, you don't have to rush off.
No, it's okay. I'd like to get out before the rain starts. It looks very threatening out there. And, honey, don't worry about your father. If he's angry with you, it won't be for long. You're always his favorite.
Thanks. Made me feel a lot better.
I hope I talk to you soon. Goodbye, Cruz.
Bye, Sophia. Thanks for coming over. I'll see you sometime. You know what the problem with you is?
What?
You don't have the grace to admit it when you're dead wrong.
Now, how often does that happen?
Well, it happened this time, didn't it? When you threw my engagement ring down the toilet. You know, I was gonna save this box to remember what you're capable of. But I think I've changed my mind. It's just too painful, you know, to be reminded of the dreams it represented and the dashed hopes for our future. And especially of how expensive it was. I gotta forget this.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna free myself from my past, you know?
Cruz, no!
What's the big deal? I mean, you know, you got rid of the ring, I got rid of the box. What's the matter?
Cruz, you gotta go get it. You gotta go get it.
What are you talking about? I just threw it in the ocean.
I'm
Besides, it's only a box, Eden. What's the big deal? The ring is what costs the money, you know?
I had the ring the whole time. Do you really think I would have gotten rid of it just like that?
You had the ring the whole time?
Yes, and I put it back in the box earlier this morning.
You expect me to believe that?
Yes. Would you go get it? Oh! Oh, you... Oh!
Well, the water temperature's up to 60 degrees today, so actually she's a lucky girl.
She told me this morning that she knows the whole story, everything, Santana. No, I really don't think Cece knows that she knows. And Brandon is fine. He hasn't been told. But since Gina knows, well, anything could happen now. Santana, I'm sorry. I have to hang up. Somebody's at the door. I'll talk to you later, dear. I love you too, darling. Bye-bye.
Hello, Rosa. Dad's expecting us.
Yes, I know. Come in.
Everyone, this is Rosa Andrade, Maggie Gillis. You know Warren Lockridge. This is Jerry Stratton, our stenographer, and Lindsay Smith.
You look very familiar, Mr. Smith.
Lindsay used to be a close friend of Channing Jr.'s.
Ah.
It's good to see you again, Rosa.
Hello. If you'd like to make yourselves comfortable, I'll go and tell Cece you're here.
Thank you, Rosa.
He's in the study with his attorney.
Great. Must seem like old home week to you, huh?
Well, I wasn't here that often.
Maggie, I have a little something I need you to sign before we proceed with the negotiations.
Really? What's that?
It's just a little document that states that I'm taking the case on a contingency basis and that I get 40% of whatever settlement we reach.
40%? Mason, that's damn high.
No, actually, that's standard practice. Actually, it's only 40% of the first $50,000 and then it's graduated thereafter. See, since Lindsay and I are donating our time, we get nothing unless a settlement is reached. So it's an equitable arrangement.
Okay.
Fine. Now, I don't want the two of you to say anything during this meeting. Let me do all the talking, all right?
Well, that's why you were hired, Mason.
And a wise decision it was, too.
This is my attorney, Earl Stiller.
Mason. Earl, how are you? This is our plaintiff, Maggie Gillis. You know Warren Lockridge, Jerry Stratton, and my associate, Lindsay Smith. Lindsay, this is my father, C.C. Capwell.
How do you do? Mason, I want to get this over with as quickly as possible. But without Lockridge, I'm going to have to ask him to leave.
Oh, he's a good friend of mine, Mr.
That may be. But he is not welcome in this house. No Lockridge is welcome here.
Well, if you're going to start laying down conditions for us, Dad, maybe we'll just postpone and meet you in court. Warren will certainly be there, though.
Fine, we'll wait for the court hearing.
Look, no, wait a minute. Hold on here, guys. Look, it's not important that I stay here. It's important that you all talk. Maggie, it's okay. Sorry I'm not waiting outside, all right?
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Sorry.
Well, once again, Dad, your unfailing good manners are an inspiration to us all.
Well, let's get on with this nonsense. Just a moment. Who is she?
She's my stenographer. I want an exact transcript of everything that's said today.
I understood this was to be an informal exploratory session to discuss the issues, Mason.
Well, Earl, I've done enough business with my father to know that an exact record is a good thing to have.
It's all right, Earl. I have no objections.
Fine. Now, I have just a little something I'd like to read into the record before we start. Let the record show that this is a preliminary meeting in the case of Gillis versus Capwell Enterprises, that my father is represented by Earl Stiller, and that I, Mason Capwell, am representing Margaret and Benjamin Gillis. I would also like the record to reflect that although I am C.C. Capwell's son, I no longer live in my father's house, having been evicted and disinherited by him. I want it made very clear, however, that I'm not taking this case out of vindictiveness or any desire for retribution against my father, but rather because I recognize that a serious injustice has been perpetrated against Mr. Gillis and his wife.
Oh, Mason, stop the dramatics. You're not in court now. Get on with it.
Essentially, this is a suit against C.C. Capwell, Capwell Enterprises, and certain John Does for negligence in knowingly ignoring and violating certain safety procedures on offshore oil rig number 22. Said violation having occurred 3 years ago and being the direct cause of permanent injury and lifelong disability to Benjamin Gillis, then an employee on said oil rig and of Capwell Enterprises. There is, of course, no dollar value that can accurately be established to compensate for the shattering of a productive life or for the emotional and physical suffering entailed thereby. We do, however, know the medical costs to date and can estimate those to come, as well as the wages that will be lost over the next 30 years. But in my opinion, the negligence was knowingly perpetrated, then covered up, and therefore the perpetrator should be punished. We therefore accordingly ask for compensatory and punitive damages in the sum of $20 million.
Further, a routine inspection had been made of the rig in question prior to the tragic accident suffered by Benjamin Gillis. And at that time, 4 safety violations were discovered. Capwell Enterprises moved immediately and swiftly to correct the errors, and in point of fact, all deficiencies were corrected and so certified by the state safety inspector before the date of the accident.
Do you mind if I interrupt you for just a minute?
Go right ahead. I'm finished with my statement.
Well, according to my records, the main piece of safety equipment was installed within 48 hours, 2 days of the report.
Indeed it was. Which amply demonstrates our point, that Capwell Enterprises moved heaven and earth to correct the deficiencies as quickly as possible once they were pointed out to us. Now, in short, there is no question of negligence. And if you insist on bringing this non-case to court, our first motion will be to ask the court to dismiss. And I might add that in so doing, we will be relieving Mrs. Gillis of the burden of having to pay useless attorney's fees. We would like to go on record at this time as warning Mrs. Gillis that her attorney is building her expectations beyond what they should be if she thinks that she can possibly win such a lawsuit.
Well, Earl, I'm afraid you're mistaken about that. Because you see, my associate and I are working strictly on a contingency basis, and we believe Mrs. Gillis's expectations to be justifiably high. You see, the truth of the matter is that while you claim those pressure relief valves were installed within 2 days, I can call expert witnesses who will testify that it takes an absolute minimum of 3 days to install such equipment properly. And that, in fact, even those hasty protective measures were not followed. Capwell Enterprises attempted to cover up the safety violations in the interest of saving money, on which it has always placed a higher premium than life itself. Furthermore, we intend to prove that management knew about the problem and bribed the inspecting official to turn their head the other way and certify to a correction that had never actually been made.
A lie, Mason, and you know it. I don't operate that way, and I never have.
No, Dad, you usually let somebody else do the dirty work for you. In this case, it was your supervisory personnel, and Lindsay and I intend to prove that.
No, Mason, you can't ever possibly prove that anyone was ever bribed, because it didn't happen.
Off the record, Earl, would you like to bet on that? No, I didn't think so. No, I believe what we have here is a classic case of David versus Goliath. And I believe that both the press and public sentiment are going to be on Maggie's side when the facts come out. If I were your attorney and advising you, Dad, I'd tell you you'd probably have a tough fight ahead of you. Very tough indeed.
Jeff!
Jeff?
Sure took long enough.
Yeah, well, you know me, I never was much for being on time.
You expect everybody else to be on time, don't you?
You don't look so hot, baby. Take it easy. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
You hurt me enough last night.
Yeah, you always did bruise easy. But you got back at me. I'll cut those fingernails of yours.
I wish I would have scratched your eyes out.
Oh, you don't mean that. I think you kind of liked it.
You're wrong, Hank. I don't even want to think about last night. You try that again with me and I'll kill you.
I think you would if you could.
Now, what do you want to talk to me about?
I just think I better warn you, the price of your pills is going up. Yeah, I can't get them for $500 anymore now, and you're going to have to pay $900.
You're out of here.
Half as out of my mind as you're going to be when you're out of pills and you can't get any more. You'll come crawling back and pay whatever the going rate is. Of course, by then it might be more. Depends on how quickly you gobble those babies up. Good. That's the way I like it. You're going to hate me a lot more before we finish doing business together.
Better be careful, Hank. You might wake up one morning and find yourself dead.
You threatening me?
You bet I am. I've taken about all I'm going to take from you.
That's where you're wrong, baby. I still got plenty more surprises in store for you.
Nobody be here for a long time. Call the police, find out maybe they know something. This guy's pulling my leg, see? Blood.
I got it. I did. Here.
No, that's not all you're gonna else. You're gonna get something else too if you don't get out of those clothes.
No, just open it. Open the box.
Yeah, okay. You sure took a lot of chances just for a stupid ring.
No, I told you I would get it, and I felt bad.
I'm glad that you cared enough, you know? I mean, it's really a switch, isn't it?
Yeah, but just open it.
Okay, I'll open it.
No, it was in there. I promise you. It was just about ready to sink underneath the water, and I got it, and I'm sorry.
You are, huh?
Yes. I feel so stupid, but you should have trusted me. I would have gotten rid of it. It was beautiful. And I loved you so much for giving it to me. I'm sorry. I don't know how you'll ever forgive me. There's nothing I can do.
Look, if you really know how bad you've been, then I'll take that into consideration. I mean, I think I could learn to live with this if you really promise that you'll never do it again.
I just want to go outside and get struck by lightning.
Lightning would never strike you, Eden. It wouldn't have the nerve.
Don't try to make me laugh. I feel terrible.
But you feel wet, too.
Yes.
And wet feels good on you.
I don't know why you're being so nice to me. Especially, ring costs so much.
Yeah, but it wasn't that much. Only about what I make in 6 months.
I'll repay you. I will. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Now, don't get all crazy. Don't get all crazy. You know what they say? The darkest hour sometimes is just before the dawn.
That's it?
It must have fallen out of the box and into my pocket while you were talking to Sophia.
Oh, thank heavens. Oh. You let me go out into that ocean when you had that ring all along, didn't you?
Yeah, and you let me fish around in my toilet when you had the ring all along, didn't you?
I wish your arm would have gotten stuck.
Obviously, you needed to learn a lesson, and I guess you have,
Oh, really?
huh?
Is that so?
Yeah, that's so.
And what kind of lesson did I need to learn, Mr. Castillo?
Well, what I hope you learned, and you can still call me Cruz, is that you should stop trying to get the best of me, Eden, because you can't. I like to win.
Yeah, liking it and doing it are two different things.
Well, it looks like I did it this time, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Through deceit and trickery, and almost costing me my life. I could have drowned out there. There could have been sharks.
Oh, a crab would drown before you drown.
I could strangle you.
I'd like to see you try.
Second thought, I have a better idea.
Stay away from me, Eden. You're soaking wet. These are nice clothes. Oh, come on. Quit it! You know, I can see that we're going to have a real stormy relationship further on down the road.
I think we can weather it.
Spare me the jokes.
I like it when we have domestic spats.
Oh, you do, huh?
Oh, they're fun.
They're fun?
Mm-hmm.
You think this is fun? Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw this thing back overboard again and see you jump in there one more time?
Please don't. Can we just keep it where it is right now?
Where is it?